Hi, I'm Matthew Cavalier, and welcome back to my channel, Moments with Matthew. So over the years, people have used phrases like, "You don't suffer fools gladly," or, I just don't know how you're just able to give those strong feedback without really caring what people think. And that really can be translated as, "God, you're a jerk." And that's really kind of how I lived my life. Here are some other reviews of my behavior and personality over the last several decades of my life. Enjoy. As you can see, I have been given some feedback that shows that I was a lot jerkier and meaner and angrier than you might know me from these videos. So hopefully I've improved. So it's clear up until pretty recently, and some may still think I am, that I haven't been the nicest person in the world. Not only did that extend into my professional career as a teacher, I had many students not like me over the years, and it also extended into my personal life. And I thought, oh, that's fine. You're just kind of telling it like it is. You're just honest. And, if people don't like it, tough. That's their problem. And what I wasn't doing was really taking in and being the empathetic person that I try to be now. And of course, I love listening to Alan Alda's podcast, Clear and Vivid, talks a lot about empathy in that podcast. Also, of course, Brené Brown talks about the combo of empathy and vulnerability and how important that is to relationships and basically creating a better world. And what I noticed was I was giving all of the honesty but none of the empathy. It wasn't allowing me to be diplomatic. It wasn't allowing me to really offer my ideas and opinions in a way that someone was really going to accept them, because all the while they're just thinking, yeah, you're just kind of an asshole. And so that's really kind of how I lived my life. And don't get me wrong, I embraced being an asshole. For a long time, I was like, yeah, all right, I'm an asshole. Big deal. I don't care if you don't like it. And as I moved and got a little bit older and started reflecting on the things that I do and the way I lived, I started to realize that may not be something to be so proud of. Now, what I always thought was being that asshole, being that blunt and honest person was me just defending myself and setting my boundaries and not letting people take advantage of me. All of those things still happened. I had shitty boundaries. I let a lot of people take advantage of me. And so being an asshole on top of allowing people to still take advantage of me and break through my boundaries really just made me an angry person. And that's really where the asshole came from. So it took a lot of self-reflection, a lot of therapy, as we've talked about before, and some medication to get to the point where I understand now how to put up my boundaries, but also how not to be a complete dick. So as I have experienced those things, it has been vitally important to me to continue to reflect on how I present myself to the world, the empathy that I give when I am listening to people and talking to people, and how important it is to truly be myself and not be the complete dick that I was really pretending to be. And a lot of that was a defense mechanism. And a lot of that was, this is how I thought I was supposed to live. This is how I thought I should be behaving in the world, because that's really how a lot of people present themselves to the world. And so it took the reflection and it took the ability to be vulnerable and say, I don't have to put up this gruff exterior that people really aren't reacting well to. Now, that doesn't mean I changed who I am. It just means I softened the edges so that my message, my truth could be placed into the world without people seeing a side of me that really didn't truly reflect who I am as a person. And far too often, that's what was happening. You know, those reviews I showed you, I felt that I had to be a jerk to my students because that's how teachers get the results that they want. I felt that I had to be a jerk to the people I went out on dates with because I wanted to protect myself before they could hurt me. I felt that I had to be the standoffish, not so approachable person at the party because then I would have a reason why people weren't talking to me if that was the case. So I had all of these reasons and I had my armor up and I confused that with the boundaries and the way I thought was the best for living. And that really wasn't the case. The more vulnerable and the more empathic I became, the more open I became to experiencing new things and inviting new people into my life. Do I still have those moments where I probably tell it like it is a little bit too much? Absolutely. But can I go back and say, ooh, that was not the best way to handle that? And then am I vulnerable enough to go back to that person and say, hey, I'm really sorry about the way that came off. Let me redefine this commentary for you, or let me redefine my feedback for you, or let me help you in a different way, because that has been extremely beneficial to me as I move forward, both personally and professionally. So I do try to see what others are experiencing and feeling. Does that mean I always completely understand, or does that mean I completely agree with them? No, that's not what empathy is all about. Empathy is being able to put yourself in their shoes. Doesn't mean you agree with how they handle things. That means people can be empathetic with me, but not really agree with how I live my life, or how I give feedback, or how I talk to someone or interact with someone, and that's okay. But it's the empathy that gets us to start to understand each other and being open to say, hey, I may not agree, but that doesn't make you a terrible person. What made me a terrible person is the fact that I just thought I had to be a complete jerk to keep people at bay and to keep myself from feeling better about the way things were happening and unraveling in my life. Now, like I've said, through medication, through reflection, through therapy, I have been able to see the fact that empathy really is the way for me to move forward, and I just don't have to be a jerk. Do you have to be a jerk? How have you gone out into the world? Are you a shrinking violet, or are you that person that comes out full force and you don't give a shit about what anybody says? Either way, you want to look at, is there a better way to handle these things? If it's working for you, go for it. If it's not working for you, it's time for that self-reflection that we've talked about a lot. Thank you for joining me this week. This is the start of our 1 video per week, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm trying to always tweak the channel and make sure things are better for the channel and the message that I am trying to get out into the world. If you feel this video is going to be beneficial for someone, please do share it with them and share it on the social medias down below so that we can continue to have those conversations. Do click that like button. It really does help my channel, and I am so grateful for you to continue your support. And do click that subscribe and the bell so that you are notified when the next video comes out. And I will see you next Monday for A Moment with Matthew.